brought to you by the guys here at Shannons. This weekend is our 2 days of thunder rollout here at Queensland Raceway. Not to alarm anybody, but you can see those clouds out there in that shot. And that particular shot, I'm looking at it from a different angle, and it's if we get any weather come from that side, it'll be a wet afternoon. So yep, lovely to have a look at that. There's all the cloud cover for it, just showing everybody at home what it's like. Thank you very much, guys. Our cameraman got great. They're good on cue. On pole, a few guys under the lap record today. We qualify. We don't have the actual. Unfortunately, the timing monitor's gone south on us, folks. So we're going to be running by queue again. So we'll just battle away. Still a couple of technical issues here today.
We'll just have to commentate it old school and do it visually. And here's our pole man here.
English.
The beautiful. Look at that Chevrolet Camaro, car 72.
Actually, is that Sean or John in the car? What's the program say?
John's got the number 14 Mustang.
Yeah, attention in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Can we please have Porsche Sprints Group 1? That's Porsche Sprints Group 1 to the marshalling area, please.
Does it say 72, Sean? Yep. So the big plain white helmet should be right. Tobias Lord in the Channel 9 car today as well. Toby, not John.
Craig Harris is going to line up second on the grid in the number 88 Mustang.
Car's going like a train too.
Yeah. The field coming towards us.
There's the Cuda, the V and Palmer.
Yeah. And so there's the Javelin. Now the Javelin. That's the first time in a long time that the AMC Javelin of Terry Carter has made it out of qualifying. So that's great to see him have it lining up for a race start.
Just to let you know, the one of the New Zealand contingent car is here as well. So it is in the country.
Well, anyway,
gotta love that look. Ian Woodward back at the wheel on number 2 car.
Yep, and it's quite a chin spoiler, the Pontiac Firebird.
Well, it's fat as the chin spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it says it right there.
It does say. Unfortunately, too, some major dramas too, Jones. You just said, Brett Curran, gearbox gone.
Oh dear.
Now the problem is getting a Jericho gearbox is a real issue for these things, especially the bullnose type. So that's a bit of an issue for him. Now he's gone back home to Toowoomba. There is a gearbox I think available out of Gold Coast. I don't know whether he's going to be back tomorrow, but it's a terrible shame. Harry Sherrill was in a different car this weekend as well too. His car is going through Woody's place getting a freshen at the moment. The car's been painted, repaired, it's getting all bolted back together. It wasn't ready for the round, but he's not in that car, he's driving someone else's car. Now Harry's car's totally different to that. The 44 again was someone else's car. He's driving the yellow car that Ian Woodward drove a couple of times last year as well. They're doing some development on it today. Good amount. But Craig Harris is absolutely wrapped. Put some new rims on the car too. That's why the car looks different and it looks glorious. The 88 garage car. If you're going to say something is coming out this weekend to win the best presented, it is. It is by far the most lovely car. It is rivaling the Cuda, and I just love that Cuda. I can tell you. There's John English further back there in P4.
Yeah, but the red 72 there, the front row, there is Sean English in the Chevrolet Camaro. Then the number 88 Mustang there is Craig Harris that we just mentioned, the 88 garage car. Then next up, car number 2, their all-white car, is the Pontiac Firebird of Ian Woodward.
Tobias Lord will line up on the inside of the number 12 car of John English, and then of course you go back to
John English is in grid 5,
and Mr. Tenkate will come out of the one beside out there as well. Behind him, of course, is the car of.
It looks like Palmer is next.
Yeah, then you've got Tenkate behind. Then we go back to the row behind, which looks to be that looks.
I think we've got a car
44.
missing from grid 4.
Yeah, there is. Harry Shalom is a little bit further.
Well, that might be Curran.
Yep, and it will be Curran. Yep.
Yeah, Curran must have qualified in grid 4. He's not taking the start.
No. It's a nice car. Unfortunately, that car of Curran's it was beautifully rechanged.
Yeah.
Tell you more about that later on. Green light about to come on. We're going to go racing here for what will be, I'd say, 12-lap feature, 12-lap run for these guys.
Now can Sean English hold Craig Harris out on the run down to turn 1? Might we see the Mustang go around? No, English has launched beautifully there from pole.
Yeah, the cars to watch further back are going to be the like we get ready for this next shot. Look at that, and the English has done it.
Good starts for everybody. English is away from Harris. Third place there is Woodward. Then John English has jumped into 4th position. Ahead, and Ian Palmer's launched well from 7th to be into 5th.
Have a look at the legs of the Mustang there, chasing down English.
Yeah.
Craig Harris is backing the power of the Cleveland.
Couldn't get there. English held him out.
Jeez, that's a nice run. Tell you what's going to... Now, let's just let you know, the small engine cars don't have to carry anything that's in the large, say 5.7 to 6 litre range. They carry a 200 kilo penalty. That poor Mustang of John English is just carrying that anyway. Boom, fish. He was limping around, his knees a bit sore today. I thought, oh, here's my chance. I should jump in the car and go for a drive. Sean was for it. Yeah. John wasn't happy.
Harris, a former competitor in the what is now known as the Dunlop V8 Supercar Series. And also he was the one of the original competitors when the series was born. It's the Konica V8 lights, and oh dear, it looks as though I've put the kiss of death on Terry Carter. The AMC Javelin is limping in with not a lap completed.
No. Well, I can tell you what though. Funny enough, back then too, guess who was running the cars at Craig Harris was Ian Woodward. He was the. Oh, now that car, does that look right to you? Yeah, it is. No, it's fine. I just look like it has some damage.
Yeah, we're watching Terry Carter's car on one of the other. Here it is. There's the Javelin limping to a halt on the.
Yeah, it's okay. That's whatever it is. It's safe. It's out of the way and all good. All right. We'll go back to...
You've got to remember that the camera there at turn 6 is elevated, so it does have a...
The flames belching out of that 88 car. Yeah. Look at it. That's trailing throttle the whole way down. He was a long time on the brakes. Look at him trying to power slide the car through the corner, trying to get as much power down, and it is English out front. The man who has really grabbed this by the horns, hasn't he? He's done such a great job. He has done a fantastic job, considering his previous race car was a rotary powered car. He's never driven anything this much horsepower. He's just done such a great job. They say apples don't fall far from trees. He's doing his father proud. His father won a championship in that car. Looks like he's heading that way himself.
2 championships actually.
Yeah, true. You're right.
Yeah. And in one of the little trivia bits that was floating around a little bit, John took that 72 car, I think 2 seasons ago, was one of the top 5 drivers in the world for number of races won.
That's right.
That was a freaky little stat from, but it go to underline just how good John's run to the championship in 2012 was. As the tail marker in the field, that's I think that's Jim Hodgson, comes across the line in the white Ford Mustang, and we go back to the race leaders. Harris continuing to chase down.
He's very good on the brakes, Craig Harris.
Yeah.
Now he's off the throttle a long time.
Yeah, that's where those flames are indicating, is these.
Which means to me that he's not aggressively going through the gearbox. He's on the brakes. He's on trailing throttle. He's picking a gear evenly, which means that he's trying to look after the brakes and not compress the rear end. That was his problem in turn 6 last time. The car was driving from the rear, and he says he worked very, very hard on the rear end of this car since the last meeting, and this is really showing because the car is legitimately a lot faster.
Notice coming through turn 5 there, Sean English was drifting the Camaro through slightly, and Harris was just on rails going around.
I don't think there's any chance that you're going to get to drive a Camaro apart from sideways. Whether it be anything on that same platform. Ian Woodward's the same. The cars are built to be driven on the throttle and steer by throttle. So hence the reason why they're doing that. Look at Woodward. I love that car.
Woodward third position in the Pontiac. Then John English.
It's the same basis as the car, but anyway.
Ian Palmer and the Plymouth Barracuda follows through from the Camaro of Lord, then the Mustangs of Tenkate and Wilson.
Toby doing a good job in that car actually. Has had a win here too. Had his maiden win here last year.
And there's Sharon Landis, who just came through to overtake. I think that would have been Noel Davis. Sorry, that's not Noel Davis.
No, Mike's in that car as well.
No, Mike's in the... Mike Collins, that is in the 22. In the 44 is actually Simon Trapp.
That's it.
Who was the... who's the reigning Queensland Group N Historic Touring Car Champion in a GT Falcon. That's an XT... No. XT?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. XT Falcon. But yeah, here's English, our race leader, and they're gorgeous. Chevy Camaro.
Just so you work it out, Jonesy, XT, if you look at the tail light.
I know the difference between the models. It's just I'm just trying to remember how old.
I'll tell you what, the Cuda looks like it's getting a better race package. They're still developing the car. Lovely car. Tobias Law in that Channel 9 car. That was a car that, of course, Nigel Smeaton drove very, very well. Woody's starting to get a bit aggressive. You can tell the smoke's coming off the back tyres.
Yeah, and we see that English is pulling clear of Harris now. So Harris might be on the defensive a little bit now, because it looks as though the battle for the lead is gone. So now he's having to just think defensively a little bit as Ian Woodward closes in the white Firebird as we follow Toby Lord.
Oh,
there's Tenkate.
That was a great shot of Tenkate going through. Actually, if we could just actually go back to camera 4. Oh, camera 4 had a great shot there. We can't go back to it, but I was just going to say that was a fantastic shot through that turn 1. If we can stay with that next time, just cue him up. It's a great way to see something. Now this is where the Hoosiers are going, who's your daddy, not me, and they're having all sorts of dramas. They're starting to get hot, they're starting to get gummy, the tyres aren't working as well, the brakes are a little bit iffy, and the cars are starting to hurt. So at the moment, the 121s, we're 4 laps down, 6 left to go.
There's a fair amount of horse that's being pushed through the rear axles of these old race cars.
Unbelievable. It is really nice.
I say old in the nicest possible way, but they are 1960s and 1970s build cars.
In the olden days, yeah.
But yeah, Woodward's really closing in on the tail of Harris now. Harris still driving smoothly, and Woodward being Woodward, and is letting the rear axle steer the car.
Have a look at the shot. We'll zoom in and take some of the attitude. We're going to pull back a little bit on that shot at camera 4. We'll get camera 4 to come back and grab that corner. It's just a nice way to look at that racetrack. It's really, really interesting because people don't realise the fact of how tight that corner is. We'll give you a bit more of an understanding of that corner very, very shortly. We'll get some of the field going through it.
I think Sean's pushing the Camaro fairly hard out the front of the field. Yeah, he's the car's moving around a little bit on the exit and entry to the corners, so he's still pushing right at the moment. I wonder if he's overdriving a little at this stage.
No, I'd say that's more tyre now.
Yeah.
The car will be getting a little. Look, mid corner will be ordinary because the tyres they're not on a heavy sidewall, so the cars move around a lot. The car will be handling. It's gone past its best stage. It's now probably plateaued, and it's only got anything down here now is downhill.
The battle for second is joined. Woodward's right on Harris's tail now. He's actually just lost a car length through Snake Gully that time, but certainly the battle for second is...
Is he going to have a crack here down? No, there's no room for him down there. No. He's trying hard.
He is. And turn 1 could be interesting this time around, depending on how
he's got out. He didn't get out of the corner. Look at the smoke come off the tyres. These guys having way too much fun.
Woodward had the wider exit out of turn 6 just then, and Harris had a fairly clean exit out of 6, and on the run down the Dick Johnson straight, Harris was able to employ that to build the gap. Palmer seems to be closing now in that gunmetal coloured Plymouth, closing in slightly on John English and the blue Mustang.
That car's got such an interesting paint scheme, sorry Jonesy, whereas it's like a real flat colour, folks, that like the grey you see in the current Hyundais, that sort of grey looks like fiberglass, like a gel coat finish, and then it's got this clear over the top. The TV does not give it anywhere near the justice it deserves.
It was like the old the Craig Lowndes' old green-eyed monster. It looked a lot better sitting still than it did out on the track. It's just one of the things about grey, sadly, is it doesn't always translate well to a good-looking car once under power.
They've got out in front here.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in attitude now. Look through here. You see that there's a gentle squeeze on the throttle, get out of that corner cleanly. You can't be aggressive out of 5 because if you do, the car just brakes sideways.
We see a number of years ago, Jerry Gulch was very aggressive out of turn 5.
Left-hand front wheel, 6 feet in the air.
Yeah, and then
My Fair Lady.
Yeah, the old Datsun Fair Lady that then somersaulted backwards.
What did we call that car? What was it called?
We called it Audrey. For Audrey Hepburn, because it was My Fair Lady.
And he loved that so much. He actually had it painted on the car. He loved it. In fact, I ran into Jerry again Christmas time this year. Lovely guy, Jerry.
Now, we can see Ian Palmer's Barracuda is definitely closing in on the tail of the Mustang of John English there. So battle for 4th is on. Toby Lord's on in clean air there in 6th position. Then we've got the two yellow, ochre and black Mustangs there of Tenkate and Wilson. Anthony Tenkate, our series sponsor.
Yep, and also this shot here, we just stay with that. It's really funny when they see that shot. I might just have a word in the camera in his ear from camera 4 and get him to hold that shot. So just bear with you, Jonesy.
Yeah, as Tenkate and Wilson head up the back straight. Now we see the back to the race leaders, and Woodward has lost touch with Harris. In fact, Harris is closing in on Sean English. So let's see where is Ian Woodward? Now he's just lost some territory. So now Woodward's car's definitely getting a little saggy, maybe? No, not saggy. Certainly the tyres are crying enough at the moment.
Is that a typical term, saggy? Right.
I just had in mind drag racing tyres, how they can look. And look at the battle here for 4th. Palmer right on English's tail. We can see them in the middle of turn 6 at the moment, coming onto the front straight. Palmer is all over the back of English's Mustang.
Take 4. Here we go. We'll have a look. Have a look at this action coming through.
Oh, and Sean English is slowing. He's not going to make the finish. Harris moves into the lead.
I saw something go wrong in that car. I'm not sure what it is.
I think he's been slowing over the last few laps.
Something's not right.
Yeah.
The normally bulletproof cars out of fat airs, and they aren't bulletproof.
Yeah.
There's an issue. So now what's going to happen is the pressure going to get turned up by Ian Woodward?
Yeah,
2 laps left to run. He's the only man between. He's got to hold up the mantle now for Team Fat As. Is he going to chase down Craig Harris?
Is he going to stop having fun and start to drive the corners?
No, not likely.
No,
not likely. No.
There are some things that are too far.
He will want to pass Craig Harris sideways. That's all. That'll be what he want to do. That would be doing the job and having fun at the same time.
Yeah, we see there English limping, and he's about to be lapped now, actually. As English limps back to the pits, but here's Harris into turn 6. Woodward behind.
Harris's car looks sensational, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now we have got 1 lap left to go this time around.
So
last lap ball to be being shown.
Craig Harris, who's this year making a return to racing after about 5 or 6 years off, where he just used to do one race meeting a year.
That just shows you the angle of the cars disappearing. I've got him to hold that shot a bit longer, Jonesy, just so the people at home can see how difficult that corner it is, because it is really interesting to really go through and watch what's going on, because the cars have to brake and get through that transition. The cars sweep out and they're back on the throttle again, down a couple of gears, and now they're going through and looking to get a very fast exit out of 2. So great result here for Craig Harris. The 88 Garage car will be absolutely chuffed. The team will be. In fact, looking for a corporate function, looking for a place to hold a vehicle, any sort of release. Go and talk to the guys from 88 Garage. And they have a tremendous garage of historic cars and all sorts of things. Speedway, motorbikes, a whole lot of dice over there.
And right at the moment, I think we're seeing that Ian Woodward is demonstrating how disappointed he was to miss Drift Matsuri that was on here a month ago.
He's got a terrible smoking habit, but most of it's done through rear tyres.
Yeah.
Craig Harris, deep down into turn 6. That's a nice shot, because you see the elevation change again. Once again, people don't understand about the ups and downs of Queensland Raceway, but checker flag at the ready.
And Craig Harris in the number 88 Ford Mustang takes the victory in the first race of the weekend in the Tenkate Australian Trans Am Series. Ian Woodward in the Pontiac Firebird crosses the line in 2nd position. 3rd. Now who's finished 3rd here? It's John English has finished 3rd from Ian Palmer. He held him out in the end. So we go back to 5th place, and that'll go to Toby Lord in the Channel 9
having some fun being sideways again. Actually, what he did was you just turned and showed us the product, the Channel 9 sponsorship in the door, then brought back. Just reminded me. Good on you. Thanks, Tobias.
Anthony Tenkate home for 6th, ahead of Shane Wilson in their Team Penske coloured cars. The old Penske Mustangs. No, it wasn't Penske, was it? Was Penske the AMCs?
No, AMC, correct.
Yeah. So, but the factory Ford Mustang team had that yellow and black colour scheme.
There's Woody playing up again.
Yeah, as he does.
Well, Jonesy, we've got another ring coming our way shortly, haven't we?
Simon Trapp just crosses the line in 8th position. We've still got a couple of cars out on the track. Well, one more actually, just Mick Collins and then Jim Hodgson. So just the 10 finishers in the end. But we certainly had... it turned into an interesting dice at the front of the field, but Woodward in the end seemed to recognise that he wasn't going to catch Harris, and
we'll take a break.
We'll take that break.
We'll be back now. So there's more action coming from 2 Days of Thunder here at
what have we got next?
Queensland Raceway. Brought to you by, as I said, from Shannons. Hope you guys having a great afternoon. They'll be back on the side of the break.